We're all used to the larger-than-life shonen personas who never lose their flair no matter the circumstances. They are always courageous, always ready to chase their dreams, but what if the main character was a normal, insecure young man? Leonardo from Blood Blockade Battlefront is one such main character. He is an ordinary man, an ordinary individual, nothing spectacular about him whatsoever, just an ordinary person. There are times when he gets scared. There are times when he feels insecure, and yet there are also times when he feels adventurous or courageous. In many ways, he's like most people, but considering how he wasn't even ballsy enough to protect his sister's eyes from being taken away, a sense of guilt always sticks around in the back of his head. For better or worse, this is the story of a normal man who possesses not so normal eyes. The first scene of the anime is just his sister reading a letter in which he tells her that it's already been half a year since he came to the city. It's a place where the abnormal has become the norm. He has gone through some of the best and the worst days of his life in this place. He then states that when he parted ways with her 6 months ago, he didn't think much of himself. He used to feel as though his life was of no significance in this world. And while things haven't changed a lot for the most part, every once in a while he now feels that he was a little bit wrong. And so in this letter, he wants to tell everything that led him to see himself differently, to no longer feel worthless. The things he saw, the things he felt, the people he met, he wants to share it all with his sister. That's how the anime begins, but we then cut right back to 6 months earlier when Leonardo came to the Hellsalem lot. So in a way, that letter wasn't just to his sister, it was to all of us because we're now about to experience what Leonardo experienced in the past 6 months. First, we see him trying to chase down a rather unusual monkey who seems to have stolen his camera. And it's not just this monkey either. Otherworldly creatures are roaming the streets more naturally than the average immigrant. This then brings us to the question, what exactly is this city? What is Hellsalem Lot? Actually, you may be familiar with its previous name. It used to be called New York City, until that one night 3 years ago when the gates to the otherworld appeared out of nowhere and left everyone speechless. This event was later dubbed as the Great Collapse. Both the humans and the residents of the otherworld had to work together to prevent the collapse from spreading. New York City was ultimately destroyed that night because of what happened, but it was then rebuilt as the new city where humans and residents of the otherworld lived together in harmony with each other. It was also renamed Hellsalem's Lot. Now going back to the monkey who stole our main character's camera. Yep, you guessed it, buddy. This little guy is from the otherworld. During the chase, something explodes and Leonardo ends up right in front of Zap Renfro. Just like Leonardo, he is a part of the Libra organization. And so seeing Leonardo just running himself ragged on the road, he asks about why he didn't come to the meeting, and whether he really works for Libra or not. Here we cut back to a few hours earlier to see how exactly Leonardo's day got ruined by a monkey. He was at a place called Diane's Diner. A sweet girl named Vivian runs the place with her father. She starts the small talk after noticing how Leonardo was basically just stuffing himself with free coffee refills. Since he's a regular, she asks how he's getting by in the city because, of course, if someone is using free coffee as a substitute for food, they're probably not living their best life. Leonardo answers that he is an apprentice reporter just getting by. The next thing you know, Vivian places a giant burger and fries in front of our boy when his stomach growls for God knows how many a time. He's taken aback, but she tells him that it isn't free. He'll have to wash the dishes later. Though unfortunately, before he could finally have a decent meal for once, a sonic speed monkey pops up and bails with his camera in a split second. You blink and the camera is already gone. That's how the whole chasing the monkey quest started. Now we cut back to Leonardo's encounter with Zap, and Zap then takes him to Libra. Libra is basically an organization that strives for balance in the city. There are a lot of terrorists, criminals, religious groups, conglomerates, mafia, refugees, or even spies. There are many who want to gain control of the city, and so it's Libra's job to make sure the place doesn't fall into the hands of someone dangerous. Or at least that's what Zap tells Leonardo. Once at the base, a sturdy man named Klaus von Reinhardt welcomes him to the organization, but he doesn't address Leonardo as Leonardo. He addresses him as Johnny Landis. A beautiful woman named Chain Sumeragi gets caught off guard because Johnny has just recently died. That's right. Our boy faked his identity just to get into the room with these guys. Coincidentally, the king of depravity called Femt puts on quite a show on live TV. He unleashes a demon who is now on the hunt for his other half, and then states that a demon would appear after every few minutes. The other half is in the gate. Things could go terribly wrong if a demon finds the gate before anyone else. Suddenly, a gate appears before them and the top of the buildings gets sliced. Zap instantly concludes that Leonardo must be working for the King of Depravity and prepares to beat the shit out of him. But Klaus stops him and explains that the gate didn't come from Leonardo, it came from the monkey. Then as Chain begins to chase the monkey, Klaus attacks Leonardo about how he was able to see this attack. This is where the mystery behind Leonardo's eyes is revealed. One day he and his previous family were having a good day at the Statue of Liberty. Life was good, but then a metaphysical entity emerged out of nowhere and asked the family to make a choice. One of them is going to permanently lose their eyesight. Now, believe it or not, Leonardo didn't have a single backbone in his body back then. He was quite literally scared shitless. He couldn't do anything while his sister boldly offered her eyesight as the sacrifice. Although in return for her eyes, Leonardo was blessed with the all-seeing eye of the gods. These eyes are the most valuable artifact even in this otherworldly place. I guess that's why Leonardo keeps his eyes closed, because people would do anything to get their hands on them. The police then show up and attempt to arrest them all because they think they are causing trouble, but Klaus decides to take care of the police while he orders Leonardo and Zap to go. He truly believes that Leonardo's eyes are the key to resolving this matter. They follow Klaus's orders and start looking. Chain then calls and explains that the monkey is already on his way to them, plus the gate will open at any moment. Sure enough, it happens exactly as she said. The monkey bypasses them. The gate opens and instantly cuts the surroundings. Unfortunately, the wholesome diner gets destroyed during the chaos. Although Leonardo assures Vivian that he'll come back and wash the dishes. The next thing you know, the other half of the demon enters the chat as well. Zap shields Leonardo despite the salt between them, and then asks Leonardo to just take care of the monkey. Looks like Klaus was right about how only Leonardo can resolve this situation. Because when our boy takes a closer look at everything, he realizes that the gate is actually a flea. So he kills it, and just like that, the gate stops popping up randomly at regular intervals. The King of Depravity doesn't take kindly to this because nothing went according to plan. Or should I say, Leonardo ruined his plan to merge the two demons by killing the gate, which in turn killed the other half. Following this event, Klaus talks about Leonardo's eyes to Steven, a shady man with connections, and confirms that Leonardo will indeed be joining them. As for Leonardo himself, he returns back to the diner, orders coffee, and states that he will do the dishes later. This is what you call a true gentleman. Now, what do you guys think of Blood Blockade Battlefront? Interesting anime, right? Have you watched it already, or are you planning on watching it? Share your thoughts in the comment section down below, and feel free to also drop any other anime that you want me to cover. I'll go through your suggestions, and even tag you when I get to the anime you suggested. A sincere like and subscribe can go a long way for your karma, just saying. Very well then, with that said, I'll see you guys in my next video.